Welcome back. It's Steven the Fanboy, and got a little question. Does Google Stadia need to compete? And my answer to that is it does, but not right now. All right. So let me tell you what I mean. At this moment, Google Stadia is what it came out late 2019. We're in early 2021. It's less than 2 years. So we're like on our second year. And if I compare it to the next gen consoles such as, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, does it compare to that? No. And I'm saying that, and I use Stadia as my primary gaming service. It doesn't compare. Does it, but can it compete? I would say that Google Stadia is a hard sell for those hardcore gamers who already have those next console systems already in their living room. If you already have a PS5, if you already have an Xbox Series X, and you have Game Pass, or if you're really invested in and you're looking at Stadia and say, okay, how do you compete? It doesn't. Right now, it doesn't. At best, I think Stadia is good to go alongside your console, alongside your gameplay, which I think that is one of the benefits of having Google Stadia, is that you don't really have to choose. I can't make a choice, just because at this moment, I don't feel a need to get an upgrade. There are games that I certainly want to see on Stadia that I see on other systems. I'm kind of hoping for that to migrate in the next, year or so. But at this moment, I can make do without. And so the question keeps asking, so does it need to compete, or can it compete? And I go back to my original answer is it does not. So I was listening to Dr. Dark, and he has Xbox Series S or X, I think so. But he has Game Pass. And when you compare what you get on that system compared to what you get on Stadia, it blows Stadia out. The only thing that Stadia has over the other systems is the features. The features of being able to play on pretty much any screen. You got a smartphone, you got a tablet, you have basically, if you can watch Netflix on it, you can game on it. And that is important. I'll kind of get onto that in a later video. But you gotta understand, it doesn't need to compete right now is because I believe most people, most gamers, do not have those next-gen consoles. Especially, with the chip shortage going around. Now it's the perfect time to go and get Stadia, but what you gotta understand is, it's not, how should I put this? The comparison is not somebody who already has the latest Xbox or the latest PlayStation, and then try to convince them to move over to Stadia and just abandon the hardware they just bought, because you spend about like $500 on the hardware, so you're going to use that hardware. You're invested at that point. But it's convincing the people who haven't got those systems yet. Either they haven't got those systems because because there's a shortage, and you don't want to pay those scammers all like $1,000. Or you haven't upgraded just because you don't feel a need. There's not much of there's not many games. There's games on these systems, but as far as new games, there's not too much, if I'm honest. And I'm kind of ignorant on it. But there doesn't seem to be too much of a reason to upgrade right now. Like you can wait another year for real. But even more than that, there are some serious casual gamers. I don't know if that even is a word. I was a casual gamer. The last system I purchased was in PlayStation 3. And to be honest, I had more fun on my PlayStation 2. Though I had fun on my PS3, I had more fun on the 2. So when the PS4 came out, and I believe I bought the PS3 around when the PlayStation 4 was kind of new. So that's how late I am to the game. That's how late I was to upgrading. Because when 4 came out, I was just getting into 3. And I know I'm not alone in that. So when the 5 came out, then I looked at the 4 and I really couldn't justify the price because there wasn't a lot of games that I knew that I was going to play. There was Star Wars Battlefront, which I told the last video, which I wanted to play. And I thought about it, really thought about it. There was some game like Tekken, some fighting games, and I just couldn't justify in my mind spending that cash to get this system when I know I'm most likely not going to get the best bang for my buck. Now I could go out and I can afford a new system now, thank God. But now it's like I don't feel the need, the unction. And remember, I'm coming from Stadia, from a PlayStation 3. How many gamers are out there who are like me, who are so budget game minded, who like, you know what, you got bills to pay, you got other responsibilities, and you like the game, but that few $100, that $500 is a big axe. And we don't know you're going to get the investment back on that. So compare Stadia to the systems that are now out. Because I sure know that the systems that are out that majority of people have are not this generation consoles. They're last generation consoles or older. That's what Stadia is really going after. The hardcore gamers who already have their system, who already have decked out PCs and do PC gaming, those people, the hardcore gamers are going to be the last to move over to streaming gaming. That's what I believe. So Stadia doesn't need to compete against them. You got to go after the cheapskates. Frankly, you have to go after the vast majority of gamers that only play 2 games a year. That's pretty accurate, because even when I was playing, it was like, did you play more than 2 games a year, like new games? Like, no. Like, 2 games, that was about average. Some years maybe it was 3 or 4, but it would average out about 2 times a year, if I'm being honest with you. So if you're only paying 2 times a year, and your game's worth $67, and you spend $500, you know how long it's going to be before that investment, pays off? I'm not doing math. The point is, it doesn't need to compete, because Stadia is not really competing against the current consoles, in my opinion. If it's competing against anything, it's competing against what they already have. Because remember, one of the beautiful things about Stadia is that you already have it. If you're watching this video, you already have Stadia. It's an app. You have it already. Go to your Play Store, go to the App Store. You already have the app. It's yours. The only thing that you don't might have is this controller. And you don't even need this controller. You can use the controller you have. True, I think you need either Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 controller, but okay. And you won't even need that. I want to bring up this video, but they just did an update to the app to where you could use your phone as a gamepad. You won't even need a controller to get started. And once you get started, that's all necessary. That's all necessary, because I got started. I bought my little Premiere bundle. I had a Pixelbook, so I got like 3 months of Pro free. I started playing it, and I just knew, this is the show. All right, so I don't want to ramble on too much on this video, so I'll make another one, talk about some other subjects. But I'm saying it doesn't need to compete right now. It just don't, because the current game system that people have are old. And when you put that next to, like being able to play on any screen, it's a wrap. That's all. This is Steven, fanboy. Get out of here.